Hello everyone, good day to all of you. My name is Noemi and we are here to report the room rate structure. So what is the expected contents in this report? The first one is the rate structure. The next one is the room rate designations. And the third one is the rate measurement averages. So room rate structures, they are both quantifiable and qualifiable. Hotel rooms will vary in cost for the same basic products. They are quantifiable in that they can be measured and structured to meet certain criteria. They are also quantifiable in that large amounts of discretions and are large which rates are implemented and when. So this chapter gives a background on their origins and summary of the most prevalent room rates in today's marketplace. Rate structure. So when we say rate structure, is the average daily rate or ADR. Is an average of all the rates sold at hotel on a given night. It is obviously isn't the highest nor it is the lowest book rate. It is an accepted term that is primarily used to determine a starting point in understanding a hotel's rate structure. So therefore, the combination of all rates offered at the hotel is called the rate structure. So the next slide will be a Hubbard formula to be discussed by Laika Matas.
Good day everyone, my name is Laika May Matas and today I am going to discuss about the Hubbard formula. So Hubbard formula is a formula used in hotel management. It is used to determine the proper average rate to set for rooms in a given hotel. Hubbard formula is also used to help with setting prices. To further discuss this, let's have my slides. Way back 1940s, the American Hotel Association, which is the today's American Hotel and Lodging Association, wanted to develop a way to compute room rates. They asked a gentleman by the name of Hubbard. This gentleman came up with a method to calculate a hotel room rate based on the cost incurred in operating the hotel and a reasonable return on investment for the investors. After a series of reversion and bordering the formula, it was not until 1951 that the American Hotel Association was authorized to consolidate the three phases of Hubbard formula into this pamphlet for distribution. This permits the formula's principle and competition to become readily available to hotel operators of transient residential or resort properties. It is designed to be equally helpful to persons interested in the promotion, financing, and investment of hotel properties. The Hubbard formula has been effective in establishing adequate and fair room rate structures in a number of cities encountering rate control problems. In many instances, it has provided a better approach to the problem of the construction of new hotels and the expansion of existing properties. Under prevailing economic conditions, it is imperative for successful operation that rates be adequate to cover operating costs and to provide a reasonable return on the fair value of the property. Though this rate formula has its detractors today, it was a valuable milestone in the evolution of the industry. The Hubbard formula incorporates three different sections or schedules into specific calculations. Schedule 1 looks at specific financial calculations. Schedule 2 looks at the rates per occupied rooms. Schedule 3 incorporates square footage into the analysis. Schedule 1 is to be used to determine the total room sales volume needed to cover costs and the reasonable return on the present fair value of the property. The figure used in the example, which is naturally the figures will vary with each hotel. The same principles will be applicable to the hotel of different types and size. operating expenses, taxes, and insurance, and depreciation are understood to include all the same criteria used to determine room cost. What the Hubbard formula does differently from strict room analysis is to incorporate a fair market ROI for the investor. This ROI level can vary widely, but it is understood to be fair market value based on equity and interest expense and debt. In the below example for Schedule 1, we have the operating expenses from rooms department, telephone department, administrative and general, payroll taxes and employee benefits, advertising and promotion, heat, light, power, repairs and maintenance. To sum it all, we have the total operating expenses, which is 1,300,000 million. The operating expenses listed in the example are in the groups which confirm with the uniform system of accounts for hotels. If a hotel does not classify the confirm to the uniform system, they can arrive at the same result by inserting on the line total operating expenses with their own total for the items corresponding to those shown under the heading operating expenses without attempting to break them down into classification given. For the next slide, we have taxes, insurance, etc. The items under this classification are self-explanatory. For the given example, we have real estate and personal property taxes, franchise taxes and fees, insurance on building and contents, lease cost from the equipment or vehicles. For the total taxes and insurance, we have 175,000. The next one is depreciation at book value. Under this heading, a computation should be made of the depreciation applicable to the present fair value of the property at standard depreciation rates. However, if desired, it is optional to use an actual depreciation allowance currently being deducted for income tax purposes. For the given example, we have building and furniture, fixture, and equipment with a total depreciation of 300,000. For the fair market return on investment or ROI property, we have the land, building, furniture and fixture, and equipment. We have the total fair market ROI for those property under 500,000. Adding all the total operating expenses with which is $1,300,000 and the total taxes and insurance $175,000, total depreciation $300,000, fair market ROI $500,000, we will arrive at a total of $2,275,000. The next step for Schedule 1 of the formula is to deduct the income from sources other than the rooms. So for the example, we have income from stores, rentals, and lease, profit from food and beverage operations. We will arrive at a total of $215,000. This $215,000 will be deducted from the $2,275,000, and from that we will arrive to the amount needed from room revenue to cover costs and realize a fair market ROI, which is $2,060,000. Schedule 2 of the Hubbard formula is a simple calculation that determines the average daily rate per occupied room required to produce the amount to cover costs and a reasonable return on the present fair value of the property in order to arrive at the number of occupied rooms to be used as a basis for the computation of the required average rate per occupied room. Schedule 2 is similar to the opportunity cost calculation in that it is considered the total number of room nights available for sale in year, which is 365 days times the number of rooms available per night. A general rule of thumb is to insert an expected occupancy figure of 70%. The 70% figure is used by many as a benchmark of performance prior to reviewing market factors. For Schedule 2 of Howard Formula, we have amount needed from guest room sales, which is from Schedule 1, $2,060,000. After this, a determination is made from the number of rooms available for rental for a year, which is from number 2 and number 3. From this total, there is deducted as an estimated percentage for average total vacancies, which is in number 4. To determine the number of rooms to be occupied at estimated average total occupancy, the estimate for vacancies and the resulting estimate for average percentage of occupancy must be made by each hotel in consideration of the circumstances applying in each case. It must be borne in mind that as a basis for determining room rentals, the estimated occupancy level should be figured at what reasonably might be expected under more normal conditions and not at the abnormal levels of room periods. In the cases of transient hotel, a reasonable occupancy level will normally be lower than in residential hotels where occupancies of from 85% to 98% might be expected to prevail. In the example, an average occupancy has been figured at 70%. From the given example, we have guest rooms available 175. It will be multiplied by 365, so we will come up at 63,875. 63,875 is 100% occupancy. So this indicate 100% occupancy level. Then from that, we will deduct the allowance for average vacancy, which is 30%. So 63,875 times 0.30% is 19,163. Then when we deduct it, we will have the 70% occupancy, which is 44,712. So to get the average daily rate required to cover costs and provide reasonable ROI, we will have to divide item 1 by the item 5, which is $200,060,000 divided by 44,712, and then we will come up to $46.7. Schedule 2 yields a required average rate of $46.07 based on an occupancy of 70%. When comparing the Hubbard formula to room cost calculation, the results are close but not the same. With the same data, the Hubbard calculation will yield a higher room rate than the room cost analysis. There are two reasons for this. Number one, room cost analysis does not include the ROI provision that Hubbard does. Number two, room cost includes opportunity cost. The cost of maintaining each room for every night is included in determining room cost. So for Schedule 3 of Hubbard formula, we have amount needed from guest room sales, which is $2,060,000 from Schedule 1. Then you have square foot area of guest rooms. From the example, it is 70,000. So 70,000 will be multiplied by 30%, which is 21,000. This is the less allowance for average vacancy. To get the net square footage of occupied rooms, we have to deduct 70,000, 21,000. So 70,000 minus 21,000, we will arrive at 49,000. It will be our net square footage of occupied rooms. To get the item 5, which is the average annual rental per square foot, we have to divide the item 1 by item 4. So $2,060,000 divide 49,000. It is equals to $42.4. And lastly, to get our item number 6, which is average daily rental per square foot, we have to divide 365 by item number 5. So 365 divided by 42.4, we will arrive at $0.12. Schedule 3 shows us that an average square foot calculation of $0.12 was determined to be needed to meet the cost and reasonable ROI, or return of investment determination. The flexibility of this calculation allows the hotel managers to apply different rates to differing room types and configuration. Again, assuming that the better rooms or larger rooms and higher average rate will be applied to better room types.
Good day everyone, and for you sir. My name is Melody Tura, and my topic is all about cost rate formula. So, there are many ways to set the required rates in a hotel. There is no perfect way to do it. So, as I have said earlier, there are a lot of ways to set the required rates in a hotel, and there is no perfect way to do it. So, the cost rate formula is one of the unique method for getting the required rates in the hotel. So, the average room rate should equal to $1 per $1,000 of total construction cost. So, like for example, if a 175 room hotel nag-cost of $10 million to build, the average rate would be $57.14. So, the formula ani is $10 million is divided by 175. So, the answer is 57,142.85. And 57,142.85 is divided by $1,000. So, the answer or the total is $57.14. So, next is the market tolerance. So, one of the more time-consuming methods is establishing a hotel average daily rate is called the market tolerance method. So, market tolerance method is one of the time-consuming methods in getting the average daily rate, but this method is establishing by estimating the competitive set. This competitive set should typically be a group of at least 4 to 5 hotels that are able to qualify as direct competitors to your own assets. However, these methods for establishing the market tolerance are not standard procedure or mandatory for each hotel. So, it must be applied in a way that it can ensure expected rate of investment by the hotel or the hotel owner. So, market tolerance of each category should be considered and approached according to the current demand of the market.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, classmates. My name is Rizal Nagakolad, and I'm going to discuss the room rate designation. But before that, do you have any idea what is room rate? Alright, room rate could be typically defined as the price or the cost that is charged by the hotel or lodging industry for overnight lodging. Usually, the front office department and the sales and marketing department are responsible for ensuring effective room rate according to several market-sensitive aspects. Okay, let's proceed to room rate designation. Room rate designation is the individual room rates within the rate structure are allocated a value based on a certain characteristic. Room rate designation is the term used to specify the rate threshold within the overall structure, and therefore defines what position a specific rate will take within the overall rate hierarchy. The room rate designation does not specify an actual dollar value, it simply ranks all the rates within the rate structure. So what is the importance of room rate designation? So the importance of room rate designation is determining a standard room rate is one of the challenging and tough job for hotel, and designated room rate must be capable of generating revenue and compensate other costs of the hotel such as administrative costs, overhead, and utility costs.
Good morning, I am Pearly Jane Usaraga. My topic is all about the rack rate and corporate rate. Rack rate. The rack rate is the highest published rate a hotel can charge for a specific room. Rack rates can differ between room type, configuration, and designation. Rack rate means it's from the maximum price or the standard price without any discounts. Why is it called rack rate? Years ago, hotels maintained the room control system using stock tickets. Each ticket represented a room with its number, type of bidding, and the regular rate. Tickets were placed in a slotted rack along with a slip of paper that showed the name of the guest and the rate the guest was paying. And it was placed in a tariff card with a hotel can charge for a specific room of your booking. So what is corporate rate? Corporate rate. This is the designation is designed to promote the corporate market segment. Typically, the corporate rate reflects a 10 to 20% discount the rack rate. The corporate rate is widely accepted as the transient target rate for most hotels. The target rate is simply an average rate goal a hotel sets to achieve for a certain day or market segment. Corporate rate are discounted prices that hotels give their business customers. These discount rates are mutually beneficial for hotels and travelers. It is negotiable. Our discounted prices are agreed between an organization and a hotel for a set period. The organization gets a better deal on their hotel rates, and in return, the hotel receives a higher volume of bookings. Corporate rate is a lower hotel rate negotiated by a specific corporation for the use of its employees and guests. Corporate rate is a rate extended by a hotel to all business travelers.
Good afternoon everyone, I'm Marwich Tigamo, and to this video, I'm going to discuss my topic, which is government rate and seasonal rate. So what are you waiting for? Let's go! Government rate. Within the most major cities, government agencies set predetermined rates that they will be reimbursed the traveling employees for. This reimbursement is called a per diem or per dime. And for government employees, usually covers hotels, meals, and other expenses. These per diems or per dimes are set a year in advance and published so that all interested hotels can offer it. So, this is my understanding of government rate. So, government employees are giving a per day allowance for their traveling. In a government rate na sila gi-offer nga daily fee or free na siya sa hotel, like meals, kanang pagkaon nila, so that di na sila mahasolinin ka, asa sila mo lunch. So ang hotel na, because of a government rate, so i-offer sila na meals for the employees. Okay, so, and now let us proceed to a seasonal rate. So what is a seasonal rate? Seasonal rate, resort and other location types that see a fluctuation in demand due to the weather or the operation for a nearby attraction will vary the rates accordingly, offering a different rate for in-season and out-season. Off-season allows the hotel to alter the rate structure to compensate for this cyclical demand. A seasonal rate designation can apply to other rates. This is my understanding of a seasonal rate. So, seasonal rate, season and resort hotel, which usually have fluctuating. When you see fluctuating, it's changing. So, fluctuating demand and change the rate usually and seasonally offer different rate for in season or off season. But pasabutan na, so ang seasonal rate daw is it depends on sa seasonal rate lang gamiton, either in season or out season. So it nagdepend rin sila, like if ang demand na nila like fluctuating demand or changing demand, so ang tendensya na if ang demand mausab sa ilang rate, either mo gamit sila in season or off season. Kung asa ang pinakakusog nga demand, like center of attraction kasi so either sa duha mo gamit sila in season or off season. That's all. Thank you.
So this is Gisa. I am the reporting of this topic, the room rate designation.
So, the room rate designations. That individual room rates within the rate structure are allocated a value based on certain characteristics. The room rate designation is the term used to specify the rate threshold within the overall structure, and therefore defines what position a specific rate will take within the overall rate hierarchy. The room rate designation does not specify an actual dollar value. It simply ranks all the rates within the rate structure. So, the room designation identifies whether it is a smoking or non-smoking room. Hotels may distinguish room designations by grouping them on separate floors. So, the room rate designation, there are two groups. First, the membership rate. Some organizations, such as automobile clubs, have a large number of members who enjoy travel and often develop travel guidebooks to assist their members in choosing a hotel. Hotels must offer a special rate and have a certain levels of quality, service, and cleanliness in order for the organization to recommend them. These membership rates usually 50% of the rack rate. And the last one is industry rates. Those who works in the travel industry, such as travel agents, employees from the hotels, meeting planners, etc., are often extended the courtesy of discounted rates. Industry rates can vary from 30 to 50% of the rack rate, depending on the location and seasonality factors. That's all. Thank you.
Hi guys, good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Christina D. Baguio from Section 3. So for today's video, I will discuss all about the room rate designation. It is the walk-in rates and the premium rates. So let's start.
Room rate designation. There is first walk-in rates. So walk-in rates, this may vary from night to night. Walk-in is a guest who arrives without a reservation with few remaining rooms. So the walk-in rate may be set fairly high and an empty hotel may reduce the rate significantly. So a walk-in is a guest who walks in through the door seeking accommodation for the night without having made a reservation. Walk-ins represents a very small proportion of guests, but hotels like to have walk-ins because they tend to be able to be charged more. All hotels will have their own standards procedures for registering guests, and you need to identify what applies in your workplace for guests who arrive with and without a reservation. So the individual procedures used by hotels will depend on the reservation system being used and the previous experience of management in dealing with guests and the preferences that have emerged as a result of that experience. So those are the topics about the walk-in rates. So next is the premium rates. So premium rates is there is room configuration have standard, those with views or others amenities call command a room rate premium. So premium rates are offered to any room that offers something extra. The premium hotels have few additional facilities over standard hotels, such as spacious room, better services, and additional amenities.
I'm Marian Andred Marok, and my topic for tonight is all about advance purchase rate and half-day rates. When we talk about advance purchase rates, it tackles about ang guest ni book in advance sa usa ka hotel. Like for example, ako magplano ko bakasyon sa Boracay. Then prior sa ako ang gusto na date is mo advance ko. Like for example, mo advance ko karon og kanang book og ticket. Kay par ka May 21, ready na. O kung naay promo maka-avail bitaw ko, maka-discount in short. Muna siya ang advance purchase rate. Next is ang half rates. Kasagaran sa mga half rates kay mabilong diri ang mga businessman kay short period of time naman nilang kinahanglan. So fit kayo nila para sila. And that's all. Thank you.
I'm Rodel Roble. I am reporting for the room rate designation or packages rate.
Meal packages. These include meals in the late, and they may include only one meal per day, like breakfast, lunch, dinner. Usually the breakfast needed all that meals, and beverage included. Vacation packages. The world vacation, bakasyonan. And these include room rates and one or more of the following, like ang airline tickets, and transportation, kung saan lang pag-adto dito, yeah. And ticket na local, and ang attractions, unsa kanindot ang naangad to. Meeting packages. This rate usually include coffee, breaks, meals, or usual equipment nila, and cost of the meeting room altogether. Una siyang meeting packages. Okay.
Hi, my name is Eva Marie Silomictin of BSHM 3, and for today's video I'm gonna discuss the room rate designation, which are the group rates and per person rates. So room rate designation. rates. It is difficult to categorize these rates as a specific designation because they can differ greatly. A group rate is determined by many factors but are typically lower than transient rates because they book in advance and contractually obligated. So, group rates is a payment or charge applicable to a group of people or things, applicable from any place within a certain area, a reduced payment for our service, amenity, and etc. made available to a group of people applying together. It is typically lower than transient rates because they may book in advance in a promo or a discount. Second one is per person rates. Rooms that are occupied by more than one guest are called double occupancy or 2 guests, triple occupancy or 3 guests, and squad occupancy, which is 4 guests. Similar in design to the premium rates, per person rates can be variable or fixed, sometimes called the rate spread. The difference between the single and double occupancy rates can range anywhere from 10% to 25%. This additional cost is due to the fact that hotel rooms suffer a greater wear and tear with more occupants. Hotel rooms that has many people will over time require more maintenance and a greater frequency of renovations. So, per person rates is the rate you charge for one person to stay with other one person in the same room. And that's all. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I am Sunshine Tanman, and I'm the one to report or discuss what is all about the rate measurement averages, the gross average rate, and the net average rate.
Rate measurement average. It states in the PowerPoint that the most common rate average measurement was average rate. So, rate measurement is important to determine what is the hotel performance or to determine what is any problem in that certain hotel. So, when we say average daily rate, it is the measure of the average income of a paid in the hotel and the occupied room during the specific time of period when it comes in that hotel, when the guests come in that hotel. So it allows you to measure and compare the revenue generated during the specific period of time, amount of the revenue that being paid of the guests. So the formula of average daily rate is to measure the average daily rate paid for the room sold, calculated by dividing the total room revenue by the room sold. So the formula is the total room revenue divided the total number of the room sold equals the average daily rate. So mauna ang the formula of the average daily rate. And there's our 2 room rate structure, which is the gross average rate and the net average rate. So when we say gross average rate is determine or define how much room revenue generated in that hotel of the sleeping room divided by the total number of the room in that hotel. So when we say room revenue is to means the gross revenue derived from the rental or a sleeping room. So in the net average rate is to determine the net average rate by calculating the room revenue general by the occupied or paying of the rooms. In the net average is not include the complimentary and the out of order rooms. So when we say complimentary is the product or those given to the guests without any charge. without any charge. And the other one is a out of order, means that the room is not for sale or the room is being repairs or renovate. So in the net average rate, the two is not included in the net average rate.
Good day everyone, this is Julian speaking from BSHM3 department. To continue the last report from Group 3, I'll be tackling the group average rate and the transient average rate. So let's get into the slides. To discuss about the group average rate and the transient average rate, let's have first the recap about the group rooms and the transient rooms. So the group rooms originated from reservations that are made to bring more than one guest into the hotel. So the group rooms are blocking up to 10 or more guests. Also, in the group rooms, they're knowingly booking far in advance, while the transient rooms, it is originated from individual reservation. It is a non-group rooms or a walk-in guest or dependent. It's hard to predict when the guests will be arrive. So to discuss first about the group average rate, it is calculated from occupied rooms of group of 10 or more rooms per night. The group average rate is often lower than the average daily rate or net average rate due to the fact that the group rooms include comps and the most rates are lower to begin with. Based on the research that the group rate in definition is a uniform rate charged to or form any one of the group or block of points within a given territory. It is also called as blanket rate or a block rate. Next one is the transient average rate. It is the companion measurement to the group average rate. The transient average rate looks at the revenue generated from all non-group occupied and revenue generating rooms. So means that the transient rate is fee paid for a single non-repeated advertisement.
Those are all about the hotel management room rate structures. Hope you learned something in this video. God bless us all and have a great day ahead.